It's greatness in its prime. I'm not talking telling on a homie when I'm dropping dimes. It's a dub, it's a trade. Now I'm going all American. I can name 3 different players that I'm better than. I'm an all-star.
And so the sun sets on a flawless day at Seaside Reef in San Diego, California. Day 3 of the SAMBAZON World Junior Championships hosted by Best Western. 48 surfers starting this event with the hopes of winning a World Junior title, and now we are down to just 16 men and women combined trying to join that elite list of surfers. Welcome into the WSL Post Show. I'm AJ McCord alongside 2 of the best to ever do it, Peter Mel, Rosie Hodge. So guys, this was one of those days all day long we just kept saying, the surf looks so good. And the surfers made it look great. Give me your thoughts on today.
I would say that the surf has been the star. It really has. Through all the days that we've ran, we had one lay day. Ultimately, from start to finish, we've had great conditions. The swell's been pumping, and it's not going to stop because looking into tomorrow, we're going to have more surf on tap and great conditions.
It's been a great warm-up. I think these 3 days that we've run, each surfer's got to have a couple bites of the apple tomorrow. Potential finals day, quarters, semis, finals. I mean, these guys are going to be surfing multiple times. The swell's going to be on the rise, so that stamina is going to come into play.
It's going to be huge, especially when you start talking about the multiple heats in the same day and every single surfer coming out and telling me they're tired after this. So it's going to be interesting.
And they're only
see.
surfing one heat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? So now they're going to potentially be surfing 3, which is a big day.
It's going to be a lot. All right, today we had some really great heats. We're going to start with the men's heat. This is the one that we loved watching today. Let's get you to this one between Cade Matson and Levi Slauson. What are your guys' thoughts on this heat?
This one was a good one. You got Levi, who is obviously the crowd favorite, being from this beach right here, but also just up the road, San Clemente. So you had 2 North American surfers that are both standouts. I think that Cade's probably got the more accolades at the moment, but I'll tell you what, Levi put on a show. He surfed so well, and it came down to the wire.
It came down to the wire, but not only that, Levi dropped anchor for about 20 minutes in his heat. He went back-to-back with his waves and then really closed this heat out. It was like a seesaw battle between Cade really started strong. Levi answered back. Cade answered again. And then Levi had to wait until that last exchange to shut this thing down. So massive moment for the local boy, Levi Slauson.
Maybe some of that local knowledge.
Yeah, I would say, that just patience. And, of course, these guys they're the same age. They've been competing against each other. And like I said, Cade's probably gotten the most accolades because he's won the most heats and so forth. But Levi's come on in a big way. And this kid he's got it all. He really does. He's great on his backhand. And the fact that we're here at Seaside Reef, I give this kid a huge advantage going into tomorrow. And he's also really fit. We talk about that stamina. I think he can handle it.
No better way to show it off than right in front of your home crowd. So as you see, moving on here, Levi Slauson with a total of 13.77. We will see him the next time we run the final day of competition, which I cannot wait for.
Well, I know Jake Marshall was on Instagram today calling out everybody in San Diego. He says, if you're not down here rooting on Levi, I'm coming for you.
All right, so you heard it here first. When we run day 4, San Diego, you better be down here. And it's been a great day to be down here. Great week, really.
And tomorrow will be good, too.
Yes, will be. Today, a very good day for Zali Kelly. She gets the win. She is on the glass with Mitchell Salazar.
Thank you, AJ. Zali, congratulations. A close contested heat, but you did drop the 3rd highest total of the round. Difficult condition. It seemed like a wind picked up when you were out there.
Yeah, I paddled out for it, and I just saw these side bumps coming, and I was like, oh no, the wind's coming. But ended up catching a couple, so it was fun.
Decent year on the Challenger Series 2 within the top 20. Any expectations going into the season of 2023?
My main goal is just get back on that Challenger, and yeah, if I can do that by winning this and not have to do the regionals, that'd be even better.
You're staying with the Spencers here. Ty's supposed to be go surfing in Mexico tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty big, but we're on for tomorrow. Should be a good day of surfing for finals day. What are you expecting from yourself?
Well, it's supposed to be pretty solid here, I think, as well. So just hopefully I can catch a couple of bombs, do a couple of big backside snaps, and yeah, chuck a couple of scores on the board.
We'd love to see it. You're going to be in quarter 4. Congrats, Ali.
Thank you.
AJ?
That's exactly what you love to hear. Thank you so much, Mitch. These surfers are really just so excited to get a chance to surf Seaside Reef. The way it's been firing all week long, we've heard from a lot of the locals. Seaside is always a fun break, but man, this week it has been extra fun. Somebody who took advantage of that earlier today. Let's go to Heat 1 from the day. Starting this off with the women with a bang. Alyssa Spencer against Erin Vaast. And this heat, you guys, had us holding our breath really past the last second.
Yeah, this was intense for the local woman, Alyssa Spencer. She's been super solid all week long, but she didn't have it all her own way, coming up against Erin Vaast, who's also been super strong in this event so far. Erin had Alyssa on the ropes. It came to the last, down to that last exchange, Pete.
And it was one of those waves where you thought it could have been there, it could have not been. It was just nail biting, especially for Alyssa Spencer, being that I feel like she is the favorite. A lot of us all picked her on the panel to take the win here. Just so experienced, and the fact that she's not only experienced competing, but also at this break. I mean, this is definitely her home place. She loved it. She didn't really have a solid backup, this 4.5, and that's where she left the door open.
And I do want to give a shout out to Vaast because this was a really big moment for her too. And she went toe to toe with the hometown favorite. She knew the score she needed and she came just so close. I think within a 1/10 of a point. Yeah, as you see, she got that 6-3 as her last wave. Less than a point, or less than a 1/10 of a point separated her and Alyssa Spencer. But Alyssa does move on into the next round. One more day of competition, trying to get that World Juniors title. We've talked about the conditions all week long, but you guys, man, Surfline's predicting some good stuff for tomorrow as well.
So true. It really is. I mean, and a lot of it's factual information. We got to see what happened in Hawaii. You go onto the social media, you saw the big waves at Jaws, you saw the big waves. They're headed right here. Now we got buoys out there, and they're signifying the swells here. So it's not just a forecast. It is fact. It is going to be pumping tomorrow, and it's going to be pumping all the way through the day. You can see there, and the conditions. I mean, that's when you see orange, things are good.
Things are good, and that good wind. It's been so nice with these calm conditions too. I hope that kind of kicks in for tomorrow and we get to see just a firing finals day.
That would be everything that you want, right? Because you want the surfers to decide who gets the title. You want to see the surf, the waves at their absolute best, so you can see these surfers at their best, because a World Junior title, a really big deal. And so you want the conditions to be as ideal as possible so that you really get an idea of who's the best. And speaking of the best, you guys want to do a top 5?
Sure.
So many moments to choose from today.
I'm trying to think of what the top 5 is going to be, but we'll see in a second.
Yeah, you want me to tell you?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. I'll tell you. Let's start with number 5, Eli Hanneman, the comeback in his heat.
Yeah, well, this was one against Thompson, as I believe, right? And I was, I shouldn't say this, but I was actually driving, and I'd heard this when I was coming from the airport. But yeah, that last moment, right? He had the comeback. He was down and somehow was able to find these waves at the very end there and get the win. He is so solid. Again, one of those surfers that is so polished. I mean, he can surf 10-foot pipeline and 2-foot Ala Moana, and he's going to surprise you. He's going to do things that, these young surfers are capable of doing.
Let's talk about someone else who's capable of putting up big numbers. Sierra Kerr, she had the 917 yesterday, but today defeating the former junior champ. She is our moment number 4.
Yeah, coming up against Kira Pinkerton, this was a huge matchup and a huge test for Sierra, because obviously we have expectations of her. She put up one of the best performances yesterday, but now she was in a really stacked heat, and this is the way that she performed. Getting past a former champ, that's amazing. That's a huge feather in her cap, and go on through to the quarterfinals.
Let's talk about Alan Cleland Jr. Every time he hits the water, he impresses us. Today, does it again.
He sure did. I mean, he's been one of the most consistent. Him and Kauli Vaast, they've been solid on their feet. And when you think about conditions going into tomorrow, it's favoring a guy like this. I mean, he comes from a beach break that is so big and gnarly. He is not scared of big and gnarly waves. He's not scared of big sections. So you'd have to say that he's one of the favorites going into tomorrow.
Speaking of not scared of big sections, my goodness, let's talk about Erin Brooks, because another one, every time she hits the water, she impresses us. And Rosie, I loved your analogy of her gecko when she sticks it like that, because it really is. She doesn't move from the board.
No, she, the composure that Erin showed, just way beyond her years. Just super impressed. Up against Luana Silva, who has championship tour experience. Luana started super strong, had Erin in kind of a soft combination, and Erin to fight back, put up an excellent score, and back that up. Very, very impressive.
Dad loving it as well as her coach. Now, Kauli Vaast is another name that we have said time and time again as he has made his way, made his presence felt, really burst onto the scene last year. And Pete, with Kauli in particular, what did you like about the way he served today?
Just similar to Alan Cleland, just so positive on his feet, just great wave choice. Every move's just perfectly, the style, the power, and going into a swell like tomorrow, you just say that he's just going to get better and better. I mean, you can see dialed in equipment, just looking the part, and has been so consistent, putting up consistent 8s and 9s for most of the event. It's just been looked unstoppable.
And it's been so cool. So many of the moments that we're talking about, we are talking about that lack of intimidation, right? You can prep as much as you want, but when Seaside offers you what it has this week, there is a little bit of I got to step up and meet these conditions.
Well, I think the scary thing, too, is like the two surfers that we've earmarked there, Kauli Vaast and Alan Cleland on the men's side, they don't look like they've gotten out of second gear yet. So that's really scary for their competitors.
Yeah, and they're on opposite ends. So ultimately, they could go all the way to the final. And, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But at the moment, consistency has played a big role, and those two have been very consistent.
Very consistent, as have you two. Thank you
Oh,
so
right
much
on.
for crushing it all week long with the
You too,
commentary.
AJ.
Appreciate you. We've had a great time. Hopefully, we will see you guys tomorrow. Check out WorldSurfLeague.com for the official forecast and the call with Travis Logie when we make it. But for now, enjoy the highlights from today.
Good morning and welcome, surf fans. This is the SAMBAZON World Junior Championships hosted by Best Western. We have the world's best under 20 surfers here competing for a world title. To me, best field we've ever seen in World Junior competition. Brody sail now, FBI, utilizing these waves to maximum effect.
It's like cooking a steak, Chris. You don't want to overcook it.
Good looking wave here for Eli Hanneman. Big section to work with, nails it, fist pump, boom.
So Kauli Vaast.
Wow, that third turn.
Oh, yeah. Highest two-wave total of this competition. Big backhand float for Cade Madsen. Under a minute, just 40 seconds remaining. This is going to be his last chance. A 6.6 and a buzzer beater.
Nicely placed for Alyssa Spencer. She's staying with it.
And that's a bit of higher risk, and that's where the numbers start to pour in.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.